Hello, and welcome once again to the curriculum, a documentary series examining the challenges facing the basic education sector in the country, particularly the public school system, and seeking to provide lasting solutions. The program is shown on GTV every other Thursday and is made possible with the support of Star Ghana. This is the 7th episode. In previous ones, we threw the spotlight on the situation in Ashaiman in the Greater Accra region and Ho, the Volta regional capital. Some of the issues focused on were bad educational infrastructure, poor sanitation, insecurity in schools, a lack of inclusive education as a policy, and the consequences of poor classroom design and construction on people's health, especially their eyesight. It's time now to find out what pertains in Cape Coast, capital of the Central Region. It's a historic town, founded in the 15th century and served as the capital of the Gold Coast for a time. According to the 2010 National Population Census, the metropolis had a population of nearly 140,000. The town is reputed to be the tourist hub of Ghana, and its castle and the one in nearby Elmina are UNESCO World Heritage Site. Cape Coast is regarded as the cradle of education in the country and is home to several excellent secondary or senior high schools, including Infantipim School, founded in 1876, as well as others such as Wesley Girls High School, Holy Child School, St. Augustine's and Adisadel colleges. Ironically, basic schools in the town are now recording abysmal performances in the Basic Education Certificate Exam (BEC), with some schools scoring 0%. Responsibility for this alarming and shocking state of affairs can be laid at the doors of several parties: the pupils themselves, parents, teachers and educational authorities, and the local authorities. The educational authorities, concerned parents, civil society, and the other interested persons have all sounded the alarm and tried to ascertain the exact cause of the situation. In today's episode, we will be looking at parental responsibility or the lack thereof, economic hardship, people's attitude to education, and the teaching environment.
We are always concerned our children do not gain admission into the schools that we have here. It's a pity. We are not happy about it. The factors are multifaceted. You know, Cape Coast is one of the poorest regions in Ghana economically because we don't have much job opportunities here. Most parents are poor and therefore cannot provide for their children. And because of that, sometimes the children lack the basic things that they require to take to school.
In Central Region, people are talking about poverty. Poverty being the basic problem. So instead of sending the child to school, the parents will say, no, I don't have the money to send my child to school. Why don't I give the child out to some trader, some businessman, somewhere businesswoman who can take care of my child, probably feed her, clothe her, and then at the end of the day, that burden is off the parent in the first place because she doesn't have the money. And then secondly, the hope is that that child will be somebody in future. So if we talk about education being the bedrock of every society, it is the duty of every parent, now that we are even talking about FQ, to be able to work and help the child to be in school at least to a certain level.
Education, they say, is a key to development, and therefore before we can enjoy any meaningful development in the municipality, we expect that our little ones are also in good schools and they gain knowledge so that they will be able to set up themselves in future. But here you are, they are falling apart. before even the race begins. So I will encourage that it is not any miracle or magic that people are passing the BEC and entering into our secondary school. It is effort. The headmasters, the headmistresses do not know individual Cape Coasters and say, I'm kicking against people from Cape Coast entering in my school. It is because they don't perform to meet the requirement. That's why they are not getting the opportunity to enter into those secondary schools.
Identify the preposition here. The preposition. Yes. Near. Is it correct? Yes. Clap for him.
As the saying goes, desperate situations call for desperate measures. In a bid to rectify the awkward and embarrassing scenario where young Cape Coasters cannot even dream of seeking admission to the glittering array of schools in the metropolis, the traditional authorities, educationists, and public-spirited persons have begun to work together to seek a drastic improvement in the academic performance of pupils.
The schools have taken over all our lands, and now our children cannot gain access to it. It's painful.
I'm a member of the Oversight Committee, so when the details come, I'm privy to it. Sometimes it's just not good. It really saddens those of us at the Traditional Council, including the Omahin. We're finding it difficult to find answers to the problem. We invite the Metro Director and staff, have chat with them. The following year, the results come, and sometimes from bad to worse. It's just not good.
My personal observation revealed that, for instance, if you go to Kotokraba, you see a lot of the children selling, trading and making money, so they don't see the need to go to school. You find the young guys selling coconuts. They are selling other items like meat pie and sugar cane, whereas they should be in school. So it's like, first of all, they are not there, and when they are in school, there are other factors that do not help education at the basic level.
Parents also have responsibility. If a child is going to school and you are not able to provide the meals and even the dress and many other things, then it becomes very difficult for the child to concentrate on what they are being taught in the schools. Who supervises the child when he comes home? So obviously it's going to have effect on the performance of the children.
Because of the environment in which we find ourselves in, some of them have to go and fetch sand, carry oranges to fend for themselves. That has been the major challenge. So because of that, I would say that most of them find it very difficult to learn at home. Some children are also brought from Abidjan, Liberia, to stay with their grandparents. And you can bear with me that, the grandparents don't usually give them the best of academic work.
Sometimes I don't come to school. The reason is that my parents, they don't have enough money so that they will give it to me to come to school always. So I have to go and find some business to do so that I'll get money to come to school. Maybe someone will come and tell me that he's going to tear orange. So I have to go and carry some so that I'll get money to come to school another day. And sometimes we go and carry sand. In our school, every day we pay 30% for classes and ICT fee 20%. So I bring some to school and I use some to buy food to feed so that I will come to school always.
The reason why I don't come to school is that sometimes I go to farm with my parents and support them to work, to get money, to take good care of me. And sometimes I go to do some job to use it to buy my school uniform. because my parents don't have enough money to take good care of me. So I should do something to support them.
We parents keep tooting around that our children are our future and so on and so forth. But whilst they are children, instead of encouraging them and giving them the opportunity to learn and all that, we rather overburden them, sending them out to sell, sending them out to do all kinds of chores. We don't even encourage them to go to school early. When they come back and they need any learning materials that would help them, we're not prepared to sacrifice and get those things for them. And for me, that's one thing that parents need to get on board if they are very serious about their pupils coming up.
Some of the parents are, excuse my language, very irresponsible. They even ask for money from their wards. And most of the girls don't sleep in their various homes. They indulge themselves in these sexual activities as early as 9, 10 years. So by the time they get their menses, they are pregnant. And what I've observed is anytime it's time for PTA meeting, only grandmothers come, very old women. Where is your mother? He's gone to Abidjan. Where is your father? I don't know him. So I think it is broken home. No one cares. They don't have parental control. The children are even taking care of themselves. Some of the teachers give them money to sell ice water so that they can get something to buy food to eat. And when they complete JHS, no one is prepared to send them to secondary school. So they don't see the reason why they should sit up. After all, they will not further their education. They just want the BEC.
I think their parents are also a contributing factor. Now, most of them don't encourage them because they know that, well, if they're able even to make it to even the SS, they might not be able to send them. And so, well, if I don't encourage you and you don't go, you don't pass, it's not my fault. I think it's one of the contributing factors.
There's no bad child. Every child is good, but depending on how he or she is brought up and then the environment, what the child interacts with, that constitutes the child being a truant or a wayward child. So I would say the onus lies mostly on the parents. They are to understand the need for the child to be in school and also to protect that child.
Most of the parents give their children money to take to school. They don't get food to eat in the house, something like breakfast. So if the mother says, I don't have money today, it means the child is not coming to school. And the children are not enduring that pain. If my mother is not giving me money, it means I will not come to school. So the parents are not helping the children and the children are not helping themselves.
Perhaps the best indication of light at the end of the tunnel can be found in the words of this young girl from an economically challenged background whose aspiration is to be a nurse.
My mother is a single parent and sometimes she has to provide for the 5 of us. So sometimes when it gets my turn, the money will be finished and I would have to stay at home and then learn. Because when I come to school, I have to eat and I have to pay my studies fee. I've been getting support from one of the teachers and my auntie too has been providing for me. But now she doesn't provide for me anymore. So I'm now with my mother. Since primary school, my position has been first. When I grow up, I want to be a nurse and I want to open orphanages to help needy people and orphans. Because I've been through poverty before and I know how it tastes like. And as the saying goes, experience is the best teacher.
Kakra makachira awofo de sananka sape na ne bene da cha na se ohu de TV sidem na we bi ji Marcus na adina ombo mozina de ne TV obedumi na oba ma abofra ba na nyu akọ na adesua hu na sa omba ne dam so a na chede abofra na na wankasa enhwe ne da cha enhwe se wanhwe ne da cha enhwe so a na sa wo enne anade je umpen ni yemun na sa abofra no so onyi bia nso obeya atete nso odamo
eso anapa by 6 na oba we gwar why bibia we wi a shane by 7 na wo school no be ya kisa wofun obo kikesen
yen abatonen nya so ye kan ho na hemba we za wope ewu mazunte tede baten bi wo ho a owo de ehye wo ba no do amazo orusuan we tum we sua ehye no do sisi ametire he mikitamba awotwe wonyina mbesi afa nso obia business ni se bia ebia kina na binyi wo awo no we dey hwem na se ma me engina bi o papa e be de na hwem into me hwem nse mamba from ho schools me face agro tambia menyu owodo waza ye na wa na aye ni obi na wa aye iti bibi wo ho a nyala batan ya kan afra ba man shop money mo anko school abazi no be oroko ho na nche no we kenye sika bia oboko benye sika na odibezima na lapen oboko nti abatan nwa ankasa wanya den wonji na tintin mo ho bado ma echina mba no wanya den wanya atin efu because ikohu de bi ni za ya tin ya na wozin ya tin ya meba kai de abirwo bi o wefie na oza ya wozin na eboa wala na nhwe wazi.
Last year the school scored 0%. I came in and I saw that the level of the children was very low. It was too low for my liking, but we did our best to see how we can salvage the situation. But unfortunately, what happened. We are doing our best to reverse the situation.
The school is a two-stream school. Sometimes we send 66 pupils. When we send 66 to write the BEC, only 9 of them passed. The rest failed. Performance here is not encouraging. We've realized that most of the pupils go to game centers. Sometimes some teachers leave the school here to game centers. They find our students there and they bring them to school.
The education of the children is not the responsibility of the teacher alone. It's the responsibility of the teacher, the parent, and the society at large.
My grandfather takes care of me. My mother is dead and my father also is dead. I just go to the beach and I help them to put the egg and they give money to come and pay my books fee.
In Cape Coast here, there's a need for us to reorient our children's mind towards school. Give them the examples of people who have made it through education. And then as parents, we should also know that our children are our, as somebody would say, your social security. All hands should be on deck.
I believe there should be a lot of stakeholder consultation, maybe public forums, so that all stakeholders can come together, and find a common ground, a workable solution that we can use to address this very important problem or challenge.
There's a need for every parent to attend PTA meetings. They need education. They don't know why they should even, as compared to the private school. This actually exists in public schools, but in private schools or preparatory school, parents do as well attend PTA meetings.
My children were in Ashanti region, so when I brought them here, I inquired for better school for my children, and I was told that this is one of the best private schools that I could have. So I came to see the director and I was offered admission. So I'm okay with the performance. They are doing very good. For me, apart from even the PTA, after when something is bothering me, I call even the director myself. I've observed this. Can you check it out? And he welcomes it, and the next day I see that there are changes. So very accommodating to parents. Yeah. We make suggestions and he takes it. There has not been any occasion where the children have come to school and they say because they were ill, they have sent them home because they cannot take care of them. Anytime they complain of illness, they treat them before they come home.
The private schools' results are far better than that of the public. It has to do mainly with supervision, because there they're looking at their school holistically as a business entity. And so if I establish my school and I know I get people because of the result I produce, then definitely I should be able to supervise make sure that the work the teachers are doing is what is expected of them.
And looking at the fact that children write the same examinations everywhere, if some are not well prepared and not privileged to have certain things, we say privileged, even though it's a right, they will not be able to perform. Then the C is there, the children, they go drag the net and they make money. And so it attracts them rather than going to school. Unemployment is also another, because they see people who had finished school and are not working. So why worry myself to go to school for 10, 15, 20 years and not get them? But I will go to the seashore, drag some nets and get some money. So the get rich quick attitude of the children, of the youth these days is also an issue.
In this school, most of the children are staying with their grandparents and their mothers at Ivory Coast and other things. Some, they don't even know their real parents. Most of the parents, they don't understand education, because sometimes they will come to the school when the child does something, then they will say, I'm come from home. One is Bobobra. There was a day, somebody asked one of the pupils, are you not going to school? Then he said, school na leko kra utia wakawa. Look at this. It means he doesn't understand education, the benefit of it. So at least that education should go on for the parents themselves to understand education so that they will impart in the children. We call for PTA, and the children that will come, most of them are dropouts with their babies. Those that will come for the PTA. A child will be here and the grandmother will be about 30 years. So look at the age of the mother. 20, 18 years, then they will come for PTA. So the mind itself is not matured, but they need education.
When we call for PTA, we see only a few of them here. The headmaster is always angry with them. They don't have interest in attending PTA meetings for us to tell them our problems. I think it is a teamwork, and all of us together can help for the whole educational performance in this school to go up.
Parents, especially men, are being urged to live up to their responsibilities, not only in paying school fees and other levies, but also by devoting quality time to their charges, education.
The parents, you see, not that they don't know the benefit of the education, but sometimes it's intentional, particularly women, and even to provide certain basic items for the children to the school, they won't do it. So when you go to Shraj, most of the cases there are child maintenance on the part of men. But the women, they are trying, because I'm a man, and I know that we must support the women to educate the children.
Everybody is worried about the problem. So all that I can say is that it takes a concerted effort, especially from the parents. They should sacrifice for their children. They should sacrifice for their children. Poverty should not be the reason why our children should not be in school. If we recognize that they are our future and we need to invest in them, then the time to invest in them is now.
This has been the curriculum. Examine the challenges confronting Ghana's basic school system. Make a date with us and other partners from Star Ghana in 2 weeks' time.